Viewer discretion is expressed for the following program. If you are easily triggered or offended, please exercise caution while viewing this program, because the hosts really don't care. Warning, this show is not for children, and not for coworkers either.
Cheers.
Yep.
Oh, good. I'm glad something's working. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. I'm JJ. That's Deacon. None of my shit works. I don't know.
We're a little late this morning because
I'm using my mouse, and I'm like, okay, I just need to just make this in zoom, and the mouse pointer just goes way over there, or it goes way over there, or it flips things upside down. Very frustrating. I probably shouldn't be sharing that with anybody. Good morning, everybody. I call this meeting of dads to order. Good morning.
Okay.
We meet
I'm using my special mug this morning.
Ahsoka. Yep. How you liking the show? You like the show?
Yes, I love it. I didn't get to watch last night's episode, but I love it because I have seen everything. I haven't just seen half of it. So I think it's really, really good. I think it's really good. When we saw Ezra this last episode, it was like, oh, and I sat there and was just looking at this actor, you know, he's the beard on his face and looking at him, and I was just picturing, is this what Ezra would have grown up to look like? And I was so excited to see this character, Ezra, that you've never even heard of before. You didn't even know who this freaking guy is, but he's so important. I'm glad that you're important. It's just great to see him.
I am in my mind, I'm just absorbing whatever they're giving me. And I'm like, some of this I like, some of this I don't. I can be critical, but I like the fact that you just like what you're seeing, because I saw the same scene and I was like, these two people don't care about each other at all. This is the like coldest. So I'm not getting.
You have no idea of the relationship between the two for years and years, and how they met and how they. You have no idea everything that Sabine, that she wanted to find him so bad. They wanted to find him because he sacrificed himself for everybody, and everybody thought he was dead.
Right. I mean, I picked up all of that. I picked up all of that.
No, I'm telling you, go back and watch the other stuff. I got a train coming.
Yep. Choo choo. Good morning, everybody. If you haven't already, subscribe. We meet Monday through Friday at 8 o'clock in the morning to Cossack Trains, drink coffee, talk news, politics, culture, pop culture, immigration, national policy. Sometimes we talk international monetary policy. We might talk about weapons, guns. We could talk about trans people. You never know what we're going to talk about. Definitely trains. We love talking about trains. Choo choo, baby.
Let's get to music. It's been a weird morning already for all of us on your side and my side. So let's get to music over here.
Let's do that.
I think an old buddy of mine is watching the show this morning. Should be. He messaged early. I was like, yeah, we start at 8 o'clock every morning. And then I was like, we're fucking late this morning.
Sorry.
It's all right.
I couldn't draw the art.
Yeah, so it's an old buddy of mine, and yesterday I was telling you, our song, this week on our Deeks playlist, that if you'll look above JJW's head right now, poof, you can click that, or you can scan that and go to our Discord server, and you can go down to a Deeks playlist, and I add music every day to your playlist, trying to expand your brain on some music. And this week we're doing bands that I saw at Louder Than Life last week, Thursday night. Yesterday was 311, and I told you I was playing some songs that you've never heard before, and we played Plane by 311s from Music. And Joey, my buddy, is the one that got us listening to 311 back in like 94, 93, 94 or something like that. So today's song, though, is not 311, because after 311 on Thursday, Rancid took the stage, and we got to see Ruby Soho and Time Bomb and all the good. Roots Radical is another one that they played. It's a great song from crap. I can't remember what album that one came off of. But as we were sitting there watching Rancid, Alex goes, "You see that guy singing?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, I saw him walking around earlier because I was looking at his tattoos and I was looking at a tattoo on his head and stuff. And I thought, when I saw him up there, I thought, God, that guy looks familiar. I just saw him. I was like, well, that's cool. That's Matt Freeman. He's one of the freaking founding members of Rancid. So thanks for pointing him out. I would have really liked to have had a picture with Matt Freeman. Fuck. Not everybody knows what these guys look like. So
there's a lot of energy there. How long has Rancid been around?
Oh, since the early 90s, probably. Rancid, Green Day, they were all what was the other one? They were kind of Green Day got a lot bigger than Rancid because they kind of Rancid kept to its punk roots. Green Day went more mainstream.
Yeah.
Green Day's a household name, and Rancid is, but Green Day, Rancid, and there's several other bands around that era that are, they are responsible for keeping that punk music alive in the early 90s, because the punk movement came around in the 70s and the late 70s and early 80s, and then it kind of fell off there for a while. But Rancid, Green Day, and there's several other bands that I just can't think of them off the top of my head right now, that kept that music alive, that punk music alive. Rancid stayed to its roots, but Green Day, of course, they.
Do you ever kind of just think about like aging rock bands? Like probably like 10 years ago, we saw like Rolling Stones in their 70s or whatever on stage, and
I just talked to some buddies the other day that went to see Aerosmith on this last Aerosmith, whatever. And I was like, I think it was Aerosmith. And they were like, I asked that question. I was like, were they still, can they still perform? Mick Jagger is like 74 years old or some shit.
Yeah.
Not Mick Jagger, Steven Tyler.
Well, here's the thing I'm thinking about in particular about punk, and this kind of
Steven Tyler is 75 years old. 75 years old.
So punk, ska, a lot of these kind of highly energetic
Mick Jagger's 80.
Genres of music. A lot of them are driven by really, really intense emotion. In particular, like anger, or they have like really, really intense emotions in the music, and that's kind of what drives the speed and the energy of this music. But how do you maintain that as you're like 60?
Looking at the guy on stage, watching Rancid on stage, as they're my age or older, and they're up there, destination, oh no, rabbit show, and I'm like, wow. I thought, because those guys, they don't look like the 20-year-old kids that was rocking this music back 25, 30 years ago that we all listened to. We're not 21-year-old punks anymore with 21-year-old bodies. We're all old men. So watching him up on stage do that, it's almost like you performed for 50 minutes and you're going to have to recuperate for 2 days.
I'm gonna need to ice my back.
You're gonna need to ice your back, and you won't be able to do anything else.
Physically, there's one thing too, but like you can put yourself into, when you're young, you may not even know, especially if you're a young man, you may not even realize how overwhelmed you are with like aggression and emotion and anger and these kind of things, and they are a primitive energy source in your existence. But a lot of times men don't even realize how angry they are. But as you get older, you chill the fuck out. It's going to happen. You either chill out or you end up in jail. So, one or the other. So I like,
or you learn,
you don't have that to tap into.
Right. You learn as a male to control that, and
like,
that to me, that
I'm not gonna raise my blood pressure over this,
is the key to everything. Okay. The key to everything for male men is, don't not be a monster. Be a monster. Be a monster. Be a warrior. But know when to sheathe your sword. Know when to not be a monster. Have the willpower to take that warrior out when that warrior needs to be out, but put that sword back up when that sword needs to be put up. And sometimes you may want to pull out the sword and you don't need to pull out the sword. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There's definitely like a time and a place, and there's definitely a not time. You got to learn when to restrain yourself, there's
there's too many men in the world, in this country today, that are not warriors. That don't even own a sword.
There's a lot of men right now that are girls.
Well, I mean, besides that point, there's guys out there that probably want to be the warriors, but don't even own a sword, so to speak. So they have no clue how to even be a warrior. And so when they have those natural male instincts, like you said, they don't know how to control them. They don't know
I
what
thought
to
of
do
the word that kind of sums it up, this energy, is vitality, right?
That's a good one.
Maybe vitality. But there's also like aggression. There's like aggression, and there's a basic disregard for your own safety and a willingness to just like take risks and things like that. But as you get older, your vitality gets a little chilled out. Your aggression comes down because you're like, I can handle this smarter and not get hurt and not get people hurt around me and things like that. So I'm just curious about the energy source of especially this kind of high energy music. Like, what do they replace it with? If they naturally kind of just get older, how do they keep the pretense of this going? I don't know. I was curious. Okay. Deke fell asleep. I actually think Deke fell stuck. I think Deke's lost his internet. All right, guys. Yeah, power went out. It looks hilarious. Deke looks like he's stuck. Yeah, I got you, bud. Yeah. I mean, he's texting me. Yeah. Oh, come on. Where is he? Yeah. Okay, buddy. There he is. He just dropped out. All right, folks. Well, let's start with some news. Some exciting news, and then Deke will be back in just a minute. So the screenshot today, or the title card today, is millions travel to hear Joe Biden speak. Just kidding. They're economic migrants. They're economic migrants. Joe Biden did speak yesterday, but it was at a auto workers rally, the UAW. He was speaking at an auto workers rally, and then he while he was there, he did not speak about all the stuff he's doing for China to win electric vehicle production in the United States. He didn't talk about that while he was there, and then he spoke for like 12 minutes and then fucked off to go raise money. But we've got here in the United States, here in Texas anyway, we do have some big crowds being drawn by Joe Biden. Here you go. Here's a post from Kanoka the Great on Twitter. These are people. I don't know. I honestly don't know when these photos were taken, but these are real and legitimate photos from the border. This is probably like Eagle Pass or something like that. We have not just some tents. You have a tent city that has been built up around here, and there are thousands of people here. Some of these folks that are trying, by the way, no, I totally understand why people would try to come to the United States, have a better life, make more money. That all makes a lot of sense. Of course you would do that. That's rational. That doesn't mean we can't just have open borders. So thousands of people have been concentrating in a colony just east of where I'm at, but north of Houston. It's the fastest growing colony in the United States. And now that Ken Paxton has been acquitted of all charges, all of the bullshit political charges, Ken Paxton is, I think he's on the warpath. Texas attorney Ken Paxton is back, and his first order of business is dismantling the illegal immigrant colony near Houston. There's Ken right there, back on the job. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, newly restored, says the first order of business is to use the law to break apart a growing illegal immigrant colony north of Houston. Additional interview with former California Congressman Devin Nunes on Russiagate. Breaking news on the emerging plots of the former. Oh, that's just some. This is an audio thing, but wow, that's disappointing.
Have you seen the pictures of down there?
Not that this is not at the border. He's going to break up the colony. Yeah, we showed the pictures a minute ago.
You showed all these?
Yeah, I showed those. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not sure when they were taken though. But look at that. I mean, that's just thousands of people and hundreds of tents. It's an entire tent. Like I've seen a tent city before. That's bigger than a tent city. That is like, usually a tent city is like a couple of rows of tents or whatever. That's just
this is a city. This is a city.
It really is. I was thinking about this the other day. They're saying like, so many thousand people are coming across the border a month, and hundreds of thousands a year. And then we were also talking last week about him. Remember that island in Italy where like 6,000 people live, but then like 18,000 people showed up.
Yep.
Well, who's really in charge of that anymore? Well, I was thinking about that same thing, and I was like, there's some places where, obviously border towns in the U.S., there's only 5,000 people in the border town or 20,000 people or whatever, but there's 50,000 people that have moved into this colony north of Houston. They're in charge there. The police, they will come in and do some stuff, and then they leave, or they don't go in at all because they'll get attacked or shot at. The DPS, the CPD, the ICE, they don't go into that little colony. So Ken Paxton's going to try to bust it up. But when there's enough people in a spot, they're in charge. It doesn't matter really what the law is. If it can't be enforced, the law doesn't matter.
Right.
And if
that's the key right there.
If 200,000 people move into a spot and be like, this is our town now, like, what are you going to do about that?
Yeah, they're the law now. You don't understand.
That's the practical reality.
Yeah, there's somebody down there that is in charge.
Fine. Let me find another story about Ken here. Should have looked closer at that. All right. Well, I'll come back to that and maybe tomorrow. We have an update on the Canadian Nazis. Remember he's on the air again. Canada's House Speaker who invited a Nazi, and then they celebrated him with a standing ovation, which was, it was probably like an accident. Somebody didn't check the paperwork. Nobody was like, "Hey,
no,
Carl here was a Nazi."
No.
I don't think it was on purpose. It was a big old fuck up. That's probably what it was.
No. Don't be obtuse.
You think Trudeau and the Parliament of Canada was like, we can bring Nazis back?
The shit. No, I don't think that's what it was. I don't think it was that sentence. But the shit that they try and do get away with in countries and governments, it don't matter if it's Canada, the United States, whatever. The shit that they try and do get away with in front of the public's eyes. And then there will be a handful of people that will scrutinize it and they'll call us crazy and go on with their lives. But they couldn't on this one. They got called out and it was very freaking embarrassing. Enough so that the Canada's House Speaker has resigned over the whole damn deal.
Here he is right here. Anthony Rota delivered a speech following the address by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky in the House of Commons Parliament in Ottawa. I've been to Ottawa in a couple days ago, and he's now apologizing for recognizing in Parliament a man who was a Nazi in World War II. So he's now this is what happens in other countries when you do something embarrassing. This is what happens in other countries. Oh, that the Speaker of the House, he embarrassed his country, and so he's resigning. What happens in the United States?
That's not what happens, though. That's what happens with people with integrity. Okay?
Oh, okay.
Because this is also one of the people from Canada up there. Do you recognize this man? He's a Canadian. Yeah. He's from Canada.
I don't recognize him without the darkener on his face.
Let's hear what Mr. Trudeau has to say about the situation.
Obviously, it's extremely upsetting that this happened. The speaker has acknowledged his mistake. and has apologized. But this is something that is deeply embarrassing to the Parliament of Canada and by extension to all Canadians. I think particularly of Jewish MPs and all members of the Jewish community across the country who are commemorating Yom Kippur today. I think it's going to be really important that all of us push back against Russian propaganda, Russian disinformation, and continue our steadfast and unequivocal support for Ukraine.
The fuck does that have to do with Nazis?
Shut the fuck up.
What the fuck does Russian propaganda have to do with Nazis?
Exactly, right.
And look, if you go back to the beginning of that, I mean, I just implore you to use your own internal sense of discernment. That is a guy that's saying something because he has to, not because he actually believes it.
He got caught. He's embarrassed. And
he's embarrassed.
He's got to say that generic ass line that he said.
Russian
it was so
propaganda.
Generic that he said celebrate Yom Kippur, and then he had to correct himself and say commemorate Yom Kippur. That's how generic it was in his head. They've told him, do this, appease the Jewish people, blah, blah, blah. So what was the other thing that I was to that? There was one more thing. Oh, so he mentioned about Ukraine. Right?
Yeah.
Continue support Ukraine. And I run across this story. I didn't want to talk about this story. I just wanted to point out something and make a point here real quick as an American. All right. Ukrainian children as young as 4 months old.
Oops.
I don't know.
Sorry.
As young as 4 months old are being forcibly taken to Russia. Officials don't know what's happening to them. And it's a story from the Business Insider that talks about this. And I was like, gosh, the title of this is terrible. Sad little picture there of a mom and a little girl, to pull on your heartstrings. Officials don't know what's happening to all these Ukrainian children. And I just wanted to offer this piece of information as an American and as an American taxpayer. We've given you like $90 billion fucking dollars. Go fucking find them. Go find the fucking kids. We've given you $90 billion fucking dollars. Go look for them.
Well, the kids are being taken to Russia. Are they supposed to go into Russia?
Damn, rent a fucking Uber and go to Russia and find them. You've got $90 billion.
I don't know what's going on, really. So kids are being
my kids. I'm having trouble paying my bills. So go find them. I've given you $90 billion.
In January, Russia claimed 728,000 children had arrived in the country since the invasion began, a number that includes children who evacuated into the country with their families. An official estimate from the Ukrainian government puts the total number of forcibly displaced kids at just under 20,000, though 18,000 have been found. Per Ukraine's count, 500 are counted among the dead and 1,241 disappeared. So Russia is saying 750,000 kids with their families. And Ukraine's like, no, it's 1,200.
Right.
Who do we believe? And you know what? More importantly, who do we write the next check out to?
Oh shit, that's the most important question. Who do we need to write the next check out to?
How do we?
We don't care about the kids or anything. We just care about the check and the money because we're going to send some more money to Ukraine because we haven't sent them enough. $90 billion is not enough to help Zelensky, the comedian who played a piano with his penis.
When you say it like that, it's hard to take it so seriously.
Look it up.
All right.
It's not an AI generated video either because AI didn't exist back then.
I have seen some Zelensky videos. I wish I hadn't seen some Zelensky videos.
Yeah, he was a comedian.
I'm pretty sure I've seen it on a trailer. What's up with Ukraine and just having naked people on TV? That's comedy.
Well, you know how I keep talking about the whole marionette situation. Zelensky is a perfect example of,
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
He does whatever the strings tell him to do.
I'm gonna give him credit. His PR team is good, or was good. Like he went from jokester comedian to war hero
Gotta
in
hand it
a
to him.
couple
Some
of
of those
months, and
marketing teams out there are really good. The
been
Geico marketing team done a really good job there for years, didn't they? You know, you can get your ass.
He's been riding that branding for
Hey, man,
years and pulling
whatever
in
works.
billions.
It worked, didn't
All
it?
right.
All right.
All right.
I didn't mean to
Let's
be an
see.
asshole there.
Nope.
I'm a father of 5 kids. I love kids. I'm defending my kids against an asshole teacher right now. You know, I will stand up for kids, but I'm trying to make a point that they're saying we don't know what's happening, and and we're going to need some more. We've given you $90 billion. Take some of that money and look for your fucking kids. Okay, take some of it, and I know you're going to rebuild and whatnot, since that's what fucking America does. Is
not only that, we're funding their small businesses, right?
Exactly.
Like I'm not talking about like emergency services. Yes, we're paying for emergency. In fact, the United States pays for the salary of every emergency services personnel in the Ukraine. But not only that, we're also paying for we're subsidizing their small businesses. Like we are, but if your shit burns down in Hawaii, you're fucked. Or, if a bunch of migrants moved into your neighborhood in the Bronx, tough shit. Tough shit. But, we're paying for Ukraine. But completely unrelated, I'm sure. In no way could this at all be related. There is an update on the scurrilous, scandal-ridden allegations against our president. Some people out there are saying that our president is on the take from China and these other countries, which is unproven allegations. Unproven allegations. And listen to this garbage that they're bringing out today. $260,000 in Chinese wires to Hunter Biden, who is not the president, not at all the president. Hunter Biden, he's allowed to do business with China. $260,000 in wire transfers to Hunter Biden listed Joe Biden's home address as the beneficiary, and they're trying to say that Joe Biden had something to do with these transactions. This is obviously Hunter Biden business right here.
Yeah, obviously.
President Biden's son allegedly received wire transfers from the communist China for $250,000. The House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer obtained the information after subpoenaing bank records. And the banks produced records of 2 wire transfers originating from Beijing, China, and linked to BHR Partners, a joint venture between Hunter Biden's company and a Chinese investment company where Hunter Biden served on the board of directors. The 2 transfers were sent in the summer of 2019, and they listed Hunter Biden, not Joe Biden, Hunter Biden as the beneficiary, but they accidentally typoed and put Joe Biden's address on the wire transfer.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
That's
So not a big deal.
Don't listen to people when they say that this is evidence.
It was probably a Trumper, that done that on purpose. It was probably
those Trumper, ultra MAGA extremists
done it on purpose.
Probably sent. I wouldn't put it past Donald Trump to send Hunter Biden $260,000 via China to try to make it look like Hunter and Joe were on the take.
I bet that's what happened. I bet Donald Trump sent money in an envelope and he wrote "from China" on it.
Yeah,
and sent it to Joe's house. It said "200 from China," and I bet they were like,
"Doesn't that make a lot more sense than
China?" And
that makes a lot more sense than the president being on the take.
Yeah, Joe Biden is a very upstanding individual. Don't fall for every story you hear. Let me, since we're talking about Joe Biden, I'm just going to play this that I stuck in our chat yesterday. You're going to like this. All right.
Oh, I love to hear Joe.
It's not Joe. Hang on. This is a woman telling this story. It's a minute long. So I'm going to take a minute of your time to listen to this story.
Let's do it.
About this woman. All right.
Well, that was the weirdest trip to the nail salon I've had in a long time. There was these girls beside me just talking really, really loud. I try not to listen to other people's conversation, but they were talking so loud it was like they wanted you to hear. So they live in a mobile home park, and they were talking about this family where there's a husband and a wife, and the wife passes away from like cancer, and the husband then marries the babysitter.
Oh, what the fuck?
It's later found that he was taking showers with his daughter when she was much too old. There's an uncle that's sleeping with his niece.
What?
A brother who is banging his dead brother's widow while having an affair with her sister and simultaneously knocking up a stripper.
This is crazy mobile home trailer park trash drama.
I mean, when they say trailer trash, they mean trash.
Okay, hang
That's
on.
trashy.
Except here's the kicker. This family didn't live in the mobile home park.
Oh, no.
They live at the White House. This was the first family they were talking about. The Bidens. And that's who's running our country.
Well, you know, some people say if you can't keep it in your pants, keep it in the family. That's what some people say.
JJ, what the fuck?
Ow.
Jesus. What the hell was that?
I think that maybe somebody should have told the Bidens that wasn't actual advice. That was a joke that kids say in school, not advice for how to actually live your life. You disgusting fucks. God. All right. We're having a great day today. Hey, Deke, this is important international news. Do you remember, it was probably about 2 months ago, there was a United States soldier, Travis King, and he like flipped out while he was in Korea or whatever. I don't know what his deal was. And he ran across the border and he defected into North Korea.
Into North Korea. Yeah, I remember that.
Unheard of for an American citizen to defect into North Korea. You know, it's also unheard of.
Yeah.
North Korea saying, get the fuck out. I've never heard of North Korea kicking anybody out of their country.
No kidding.
North Korea.
Travis would be under a mountain somewhere.
Right. Either working in a slave camp or Harold is a hero defecting from the West.
Somewhere. Absolutely.
North Korea will expel Travis King 2 months after he ran over the border. This is so funny. North Korea announced Wednesday it's going to expel Mr. King, who's 23. He allegedly confessed to illegally entering the Hermit Kingdom following an investigation. Officials Wednesday said via the Korean Central News Agency, quote, the relevant organ of the DPRK decided to expel Travis King, a soldier of the U.S. Army who illegally intruded into the territory of the DPRK under the law of the Republic. The soldier, who's facing disciplinary action following a series of dust-ups in South Korea, was reportedly bitter over treatment and racism within the United States forces, North Korea previously claimed. They did not specify when King would be deported or when the state would send him. A spokesperson for King's family did not immediately respond to the post requesting a comment. So I have to get off of this page before the ads on the New York Post will just completely break my internet. So, wow. Can you imagine being such a dipshit that North Korea would rather get you out of their country than use you as a trophy prop to prove how Western culture is decayed?
It almost makes you wonder what they did to this poor kid, and they realize that he has nothing else to offer us, no other pieces of information to give us, and we have no use for him. We don't want him in our country because, JJ, what is the number one glaring reason why North Korea would not want? Here, let me bring his picture back up again so you can look at his picture when deciding.
Oh, hold on now. No, hold on.
What's the number
Before you
one
start with that,
thing
I'm going to remind you, it's not because he's black. It's not because he's black.
You don't think that's
Because
it?
Dennis Rodman goes over there and hangs out with Kim Jong-il. I don't think so.
Dennis Rodman
Jong hangs out with Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman is a really, really rich, famous man too. And this is just some schmo, private king.
This guy's a king too.
Oh my God. I'm being serious. You know?
I don't think it's because he's black.
Okay.
Although they probably are racist.
I think it is. I'm not saying I'm saying
hey, Chad,
I think
Chad, what do you guys think? Do you think North Korea is racist? Are they kicking him out of North Korea because they're racist?
Because they're racist? Is that what they're doing? I believe that's what they're doing. They don't want to be like, okay, you can live in our country. They're not going to do that.
Did he get there?
Yeah, you can come, you can live.
Did Private King get to North Korea and say, the U.S. Army was so racist at me? And they're like, oh, okay, well, and then they're like, I wonder how we can use this to like make the U.S. look stupid. And then while he's there, it just starts being like acting like everybody around him is racist and being just a complaining bitch for being a defector. And then the people in North Korea were like, oh my God, what do we do with this guy? Let's get rid of him. Just send him back. Make him their problem again. Wow. All right.
Morning, do good. What's up, buddy?
Deke, I have a question about sports. I have a sports ball question.
Okay. Because me and JJ know so much about sports ball.
It's related to racism, sir.
Yep.
It's related to racism. So I have a racism sports ball question.
Okay.
The Washington Commanders
football team, the Washington football team.
Right.
Professional football team.
Right. They about what was it, like 10 years ago? I don't know how long ago it was.
I don't know how long ago it was.
They changed their name to the Washington Commanders, but previously it was the super racist name of the Redskins. And they said, hey, we have to stop being racist. Change the name from the Redskins to the Washington Commanders.
Right.
Okay. And now the Washington Commanders are it's being demanded of them by the Native American Association that the Washington Commanders change their name back to the Redskins because of racism.
Yes.
Are you? Who do we? Is there an attorney to talk to for racism whiplash? Because I don't understand.
The logo, the Washington Redskins logo. Hang on, let me bring this because here's the logo. Here's the old logo. You see that?
That's the old logo.
That's the old logo.
And the name at the time was Redskins.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That man's name is Chief Whitecalf. C-A-L-F. Calf. Whitecalf.
Whitecalf. Okay.
He was a real Native American.
Okay.
They honored him and the Native American warriors every time they went on the field under his name and under his visage, right, and played a professional game with integrity. And you know, that's what they're saying. They honored Chief Whitecalf every time they went on the field and the Warriors played with integrity, keeping up that Native American tradition. And they want the damn logo back. They want the Redskin man on the freaking, they want him on there. Just like I have seen black people make comments and write articles about why the hell did you take a black woman off the syrup? You know,
Miss Butterworth.
Why did you
Butterworth?
Take it?
Dude, I was thinking about Miss Butterworth, and I was like, man, why did they do that? And you know, they used to pay the Butterworth family royalties because they were using her likeness, and they got out of that. They said, "Oh, this is racist," and they got out of it. We have to pay them anymore.
There was we as kids didn't know anything about racism until an adult told us that that's what that means. We didn't see it that way.
Yeah.
I never thought that was racist until somebody was like, that's steeped in racism. Well, don't ever look up what your traditions in Christmas do, or your mind might blow up.
So this is the current Washington Commanders logo, which is pretty lame. And
like wrestling.
And this is the logo you're talking about, like it used to be calf white, okay, or white
calf,
right?
White calf.
Okay, but and guy and chat, I just don't know. Is this the one that they were like, that's racist? Is
That's
this?
that's the Cleveland Indians. That's Wahoo.
Oh, that's different. Okay. Well, it was
Yes,
in the
that's a
same tweet.
baseball
It was in
logo.
this guy's tweet.
Oh, well, he's just making a
All right. All
yeah.
right. Well, I'm going to leave this up to the state of Washington. I'm sure you guys can figure it out.
Yeah,
Can you
I'm not
guys
a
just
big
decide which one is racist and tell the rest of us? Or
yeah.
better yet, don't tell us. We don't care. I don't care.
JJ and I really don't care.
I don't care.
Don't care.
Washington Commanders, Redskins. Why don't you call it the
sports.
Redskin Commanders? Dude, call it the Redskin Commanders.
I like watching sports. I just don't worship them like some people do. I enjoy watching football. I enjoy watching baseball, hockey. I enjoy watching a lot of different sports. I just do not worship them. Sports have been an integral part of human society since the very beginning. The playing and the watching of sports has been an integral part of human society. Civilized society. It really has since the very beginning. Every civilization has had some sort of sport that they played, and people watched and participated in. So it's just a part of society.
I mean, it's a replacement for combat. It's a vicarious replacement for combat.
Right, for males. Yeah, it really is. That's where the roots are.
I can't kill people. If I do, I'm going to get in trouble. How do I dominate and destroy people without killing them and getting in trouble?
If you want to get down to the brass tacks, you're exactly right.
That's what it is.
But we have figured out how to make money off of it over the years.
Yeah.
So I got one more story before we're going to have to leave a little early because today is Wednesday and I have my show.
Yep.
I keep
waiting. Yep.
I know that you were planning on watching this, so you're going to be pretty upset when I read you this story, JJ. Disney has reportedly fired Rachel Ziegler from the Snow White live action movie.
Really?
No.
This comes from Inside the Magic, and it might be true. I wonder.
This is a straight from InsideTheMagic.com. So basically, let me tell you what happened. In 1937, Walt Disney had this film, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. A dwarf is a mythical person that was of short stature, okay? A mythical person. Since then, we have used that word to describe people in our world that are shorter people, and now people go, that's racist. So they decided not to do Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. This movie was going to be Snow White and the Seven Mythical Creatures. Okay? Well, that pissed off a bunch of people. They're like, what the hell?
In particular, short people who were like, why are you not letting dwarves have jobs?
Why are you not paying us and letting us be the freaking dwarves in the freaking dwarf story?
Right.
Jesus Christ. So anyway, they were like, okay, and people were pissed off. And then this beauty right here, Rachel Ziegler, first of all, they were like, okay, she's of Latina descent or whatever she is, and blah, blah, blah. And people were like, Snow White literally is Snow White because her skin is white as snow. That is her name. So they really didn't say anything. They kind of ignored that. So old Rachel here gets on camera and she's basically like, there ain't no damn prince in this movie. Snow White does not need to be rescued by no man. This is a different movie, and Snow White has different morals, and she is going for different things, and we're showing how a woman can don't know. And everybody was like, screw you. This is not Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. This is some movie, some new movie that we don't want to see. We want to see Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the seven little people, the magical story, the Prince Charming come and kiss her and sweep her off her feet. That is what we want to see. And I guess they took the hint because they let her go.
Well, now I want to point this out. Like this charge of being fired has been challenged by like Snopes and Fact Check or whatever. Okay. And they're saying, that there's no evidence that is being that they've been fired. So the Inside the Magic story is based on a TikTok video, and So maybe it's, but here's what hasn't happened. Disney has not come out and said, well, she's not fired. So right now, Inside the Magic is saying she's fired, and Disney is saying, no comment.
Right. And Inside the Magic is not just some website like started by two people in their apartment like Snopes. So, you know, it's kind of a reputable thing for Disney information, I would think. You know, if you don't believe that about Snopes, look that shit up too.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Honestly, I mean, she kind of looks like Snow White to me, except she ain't really very pretty.
She actually does. I was going to say that she does kind of look like Snow White, but literally Snow White's skin was white as snow. That's described.
I wouldn't let my kids watch this trash anyways.
Yeah. All right. We got to do
looks like garbage.
I got my guest coming in.
All right. You doing a joke?
I got one for you here.
All right. Let's go.
I recently hired a lawyer to sue the airlines for mishandling my luggage. Yeah, he lost the case.
All right. Nice.
I got cheers.
Hey.
And applause for that one.
Yeah. Hey, do you want to hear a joke about paper?
Sure.
I can't tell you. It's terrible. No, it's terrible. It's terrible.
I don't get that.
It's terrible.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Bye, everybody. Like and subscribe.